Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Plum Crazy adventure. How is everyone this evening? We are here.
Barely.
Um, hmm.
Picture
I
strong.
appear to have a problem. This isn't going to be good, guys.
Thank God we're just talking about stuff that we did that last week. So
What did he do?
I don't know. Mine's over there too. So
I can get yours. That's not a problem. There we go. Apparently, it was stuck on something.
oh, nice cube.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, how is everyone? Please do us a favor. Let us know if you are trickling in here. Definitely let us know where you're from, what's going on. Really always like being able to see things like that. And bear with me a second because I have to do something here because it's really messing with me. That's a little bit better. Perfect.
Okay.
So this evening, in case you couldn't tell, is we're going to talk about our latest adventure.
Yeah.
We tried to talk to you guys a little bit about it on the last Sunday, but we could not get our lives to work. I do apologize for that.
Yeah.
We had very limited service at the hotel that we were staying in, and then when we tried to upgrade our Wi-Fi package, it didn't work.
No.
And
Not at all. Everything kept buffering and it just
and then
nothing
I
was
ended up
working right.
talking to somebody about it the next day because obviously I wasn't going to be bugging the person downstairs about it while he had a bunch of people checking in. And I guess it was a problem that they were aware of, and they had actually tried to get somebody to come out and check it out. But with it being the weekend, they hadn't seen anybody come through yet. So little disappointing on that end, but I mean, at least I didn't end up having to pay for the service that I didn't get to use.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so as you guys may or may not know, we ended up taking a week vacation and we drove to Central Florida to celebrate Nick's birthday. Nick turned 7 years old on Monday, this past Monday.
Yeah, and as we drove down, we didn't have any issues or any problems or anything. We got all the way down into just outside of Georgia. Yeah, name of the town.
Pooler, Savannah.
No, we weren't in Pooler. We were
just north of.
Yeah, we were actually in the outskirts of Savannah, Georgia, basically. So
we were just north of Pooler.
Just north of Pooler.
Which is one of the outskirts of Savannah, Georgia. So we like to stay there on our way down. It ends up being a long drive from Pittsburgh, but it makes it a little bit easier for the return, like going the rest of the way.
Yeah.
You actually get to do some things on your second day of travel.
Yeah.
So
the next day we got up and we actually drove down into Florida. From there down to where we were going ended up being about 4.5 hours, close to 5, because we actually had to do a detour because a car caught completely on fire in the middle of the interstate.
That was wild.
And
yeah,
we had to do a detour, and it worked out because we needed fuel anyway. But we got fuel and went around the detour and got back on I-10.
Yeah, so this was our first time ever actually taking I-10 across instead of just continuing on 95 down to I-4. Reason why we did that is because we wanted to go to Crystal River, home of the manatees. And so I was really excited to see that. I do apologize, people on Facebook. If you are seeing this, can you please let me know if you're having some connection issues? I'm not quite sure why it keeps saying that it's connecting. So hopefully people are seeing us. So, but regardless,
there it goes again.
Yeah, I wonder what's happening with that. But people, let me know if you can see us or not. And definitely tell us if our YouTube feed is doing the same thing, because I really hope it's not. But anyway, we wanted to go to Crystal River. This is a place that has been on our bucket list for years because I've always wanted to see manatees out in the wild. Easiest way to do that is to go where they migrate when they want to get warm. And Crystal River is the perfect place to be able to do that.
Totally is.
Now, we did come in when it was a little bit of a warmer day. I think it was mid 70s. And so generally when the air temperature is pretty warm, you're not going to see very many manatees in the like Three Rivers Spring or anything like that. Three Sisters Spring, sorry. Because they're out and they're foraging in the bay and different things rather than trying to stay warm within the springs themselves.
Right. Now, the hurricane that went through I think it's probably about 3 months now. 3 months ago, it actually took out a lot of the vegetation in the more shallow parts of the bay itself. So the manatees are having to go out further into the bay and dive down into the waters a little bit further to be able to get more vegetation and stuff, and some of the seagrass and stuff that they normally eat on and stuff. We actually got to meet one of the park rangers.
Yeah,
and
one of the volunteers.
One of the volunteers, and walked around with him as he explained a few things to us about the springs and about the lifestyle of the manatee itself. And it was really interesting to listen to him talk. This is definitely a person that was very, very passionate about what he does. I think his name was Mark.
I don't know.
I believe his name was Mark. But he did a wonderful job explaining to us. Yes, they are manatees that even at 2 years of age, they look like they're full grown, but they're not. They are massive. We did see actually a baby.
It was tiny.
It was a small one. But even at that, it was probably 70 to 80 pounds, just that small one. Some of these guys can reach clear up into 500-600 pounds, something like that.
Oh gosh, no, they're bigger than that. 1,500, 1,800 pounds, I believe, is what they can hit. Because I know that when the manatees are going to be re-released, anytime they're in a rehabilitation program, they have to hit a minimum of 800 pounds before they're allowed to be re-released.
Yeah.
So,
but these guys that we were seeing were probably about around the 800-pound range. There was a couple of them that were pretty good size, but
a couple were really cool.
Yeah, and we saw, I think it was a total of 20 manatees in one day. Easily. And
it wasn't no hundreds like what was in there a few days before.
No,
but that's okay because it wasn't very busy. So it was easy to not have Nick overwhelmed.
Yes, what we've got explained to us is like when the air temperature drops outside, the manatees will start rolling back in to the shallower waters and around the springs and stuff, because the water coming out of the springs is at a constant 72 degrees year round. It doesn't matter what the temperature is outside. It is constantly 72 degrees year round there.
Right.
And well, that is just clicking.
I don't know what's happening. So you keep talking and I'm going to mess with it for a minute.
So basically, found out some interesting information about it. The waters and stuff. They actually travel down from the Carolinas through the limestone all the way down through into Florida, and they emerge out of the ground in Florida, all over Florida. But the area that we were in, there's actually 70 different springs literally just in that area itself.
Yeah.
The springs that we were at and we were visiting, the Three Sisters, that area was actually bought to be developed into condominiums probably about 10-15 years ago, something like to that effect. I know you didn't hear this because you were off chasing Nick and looking at the manatees.
Can't bring up comments on Facebook. Okay, keep going, please.
Yeah. So basically, we found out that they're actually in a drought down in there in that area, and a lot of people thought that the water table would have risen because of the rain and the water that came through with that last hurricane. Well, that hurricane didn't actually bring a lot of rain. It just brought a lot of tidal surge, basically, and a lot of flooding and stuff. So it didn't really do anything to help the water table in that area. But with the springs, they're not affected because the water is actually, like I said, it's coming from all the way up in the Carolinas through Georgia down into Florida, clear down through, and it travels down through the limestone. And it was just really interesting to listen to this guy talk and tell the story about how the water and everything gets there, why it's so important for the manatees, and the reason why they continuously stay there. Now, the one question I did ask him was, are the manatees kind of like turtles, like the sea turtles and stuff, and do they continuously return back to the same spot where they were, born and stuff like that? And do they do the breeding and stuff like that all in the same area? And do they migrate somewhere and then come back? And from what he told me is basically they will be in that area for a while. They will grow up, and then they'll get old enough to, they're big enough to be able to withstand going out toward the shorelines and stuff. And they can go as far as over into Texas, on the panhandle of Texas over there, and all the way back around. They're actually seen clear into,
go down into the Keys.
Yeah, they go down into the Keys. They're been seen clear over in Louisiana. The ones that are literally right there, that were born there. And you'll notice, like in some of the video, well, I don't think we have any videos, but we did photos and stuff. You'll actually see some numbers and stuff, and you'll see markings on their backs. And what they do is they take photos of those markings on the back, and that's how they track them in the wild. Now, the ones that are numbered, they're the ones that have been rescued and have been, like at Tampa Zoo,
or any of the numerous facilities up and down the coast,
right? That they would actually release them back into the wild and stuff, and they can track them by the numbers on them. So,
yeah. So I thought it was a really great thing. It was definitely educational. It was really nice to be able to check it out. We were very fortunate with the weather, because it was spitting rain and pouring rain off and on. Basically, as soon as we got into Florida, all the way down to Crystal River, and then it kind of stopped and was just like maybe a little bit of haze drops and stuff here and there. But for the most part, like the hour and a half that we were there, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's like when we got there, this guy said, "Oh, well, the Snyders are here, so let's stop raining," and it did for a while, and then it sprinkled a little bit more on our way out, and then once we got down into Clearwater, it really kind of cleared up to be a nice evening. So
yeah, it did. So very, very grateful for that. Now, as he just alluded to, we did end up going down to Clearwater, Tampa, to stay the night on that Sunday night. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to be fairly close to the Tampa Zoo, because that was Nick's big thing that we were doing on his birthday, was going to the Tampa Zoo.
Yep. And let me tell you something, going to this Tampa Zoo, it was a beautiful place. I absolutely loved the fact that there was all the shading, the enclosures were big, and being able to see some of the members from the show from the Tampa Zoo on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that was cool. Being able to see them walking around. I seen
a total of 3. I think you've seen a total of 2. I don't know, but anyway, I mean, it was just so cool to be able to look up and go like, oh my God, they're on the show. We were very excited about that.
Yeah, that was cool.
But yeah, that was real interesting. To me, it's a great zoo. It needs to be a little bit bigger, but the problem is the way they have it positioned, that zoo cannot grow.
Yeah, there's a residential all the way around it, which I didn't realize. Now, the only thing we didn't get to do was the Wallaroo section, which is basically their Australia section. I was super excited about being able to see koalas for the first time. They didn't have any.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't say that. They have them, but there was no way to be able to get to them to be able to see them.
Because it was under construction and they're redoing basically the whole section right now.
Yeah.
So
But a little sad about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was really cool being able to, we got to see a shoebill stork for the first time.
Yes.
We have 3.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, that might be like the only 3, or there's only like
actually
3 of 5.
There's 5 in the United States, and that's it. And 3 of them are at the Tampa Zoo.
Yeah.
Which that's an impressive feat. So kudos to those
really
guys. They're really
cool birds.
Yeah, they're a little creepy. They're the types of birds that when they're looking at you, they feel like they're staring into the depths of your soul. So yeah, but it was really cool to be able to see them. And this is a bird that stands almost 6 feet tall.
Yes, it is not a little bird.
No.
But they were really cool. Nick got to see an okapi,
Mhm.
and he actually got his own stuffed animal okapi.
Yeah.
He was very excited about that.
Yeah.
And we got to see the Manatee Rescue Center, which was way more impressive than I realized.
Yeah.
It was really cool being able to see that in person.
Well, and the thing I thought it was so impressive about the Manatee Rescue Center was the fact that they had 3 tanks where they can
three
three medical tanks where they could literally lift them right up out of the water. They can do the exams and stuff and take care of them and stuff, and then put them right back down in, and then they go right back into their habitat.
Yeah,
which
that was cool.
Really, really cool. It was so neat to be able to see the setup, how they did it. I mean, you see it on the show and stuff, and you just don't realize how big these things are. But it was just so impressive to be able to be there and see everything about it. So it was really cool. It was a very fun educational day. Like I said, it's a little bit smaller of a zoo, and I think really it needs to have more land, because I think if they had more land, they would be able to expand out and do a lot more things with that zoo.
Yeah,
definitely good. I would say it's probably not my number 2 zoo.
Wow.
I would definitely say that. My number 1 obviously will be the Smithsonian Zoo, because I don't know what it is about that zoo, but I just absolutely love that one.
See, that's really interesting to me, because I actually Columbus Zoo is always going to be my number 1. I have a feeling it might get unseated by San Diego someday. But definitely Columbus Zoo, and then probably Tampa, and then Smithsonian. So it's interesting how that works, isn't it?
Yep.
So.
But really good day. We had a lot of fun with that. So we left there, and then we went to go.
And we will have a video out on that eventually.
Yes, we will.
I've got some other things I've got to get done first.
Got a lot of videos we got to catch up on. we're still on the cruise from October.
I'm trying, guys.
So we've just been really, really busy, life and work and everything else. So, but then we left and went from there and went over to the Westgates over Flamingo Crossing, Westgates of Disney, and we stayed in a place called Flamingo Crossing. And it really nice hotel.
It was the Spring Hill Suites by Marriott. For those of you that are familiar with our road trip we did last year, in October, I believe it was, we stayed at the sister resort, Town Place Suites by Marriott. So wanted to be able to check it out, see if it was just as nice as the Town Place. Also wanted to finally be able to check out that pool, because we never did get to enjoy the pool when we went last year. So we did that. I was glad to do that. So shutting down and trying to get you something up. I don't know what that is, but okay. So, but anyway, apologize for that. So definitely was glad that we stayed at the Spring Hill Suites. I think that for our purposes and for the price, which is pretty comparable, honestly, I would stay at the Town Place only because you get the kitchen, and things are a little bit more separated out, which I liked better. But depending on what your needs are, it's a really nice hotel. So, and definitely had great breakfast. And Nick loved the gingerbread man that was around during breakfast time.
That was great.
That kind of solidified what we did on Tuesday.
Yeah. So back to what you said real quick. I totally agree with having a kitchenette and stuff, just because if you're traveling with your family and stuff and you want to find ways.
I can see you, Deb. Thank you for posting.
If you want to have opportunities to be able to save a little bit of money and not spend the prices at Disney on food and everything, excuse me. You can go right across the street. Next door, there's a Target that sells groceries and stuff.
Yeah.
You can get groceries there.
It's a small Target.
But it does have some groceries. Or bring your own food. Doesn't matter. Or you can have it delivered to you. And you can also do it off of Amazon. You can have it delivered there
Instacart.
too. Instacart. Have that all taken care of for you too. But it's nice to be able to have that kind of thing to do, because you can get your free breakfast in the morning. You come home at night from the parks and stuff, and you're tired, but you're still hungry, because you didn't want to go spend $200-300 on food because you got a family of 6. I mean, it does add up pretty quick. So
yes, it does.
So you go in, you snack all day, and then you come home, you just make something real quick, and then go to bed for the night and get up and go do your parks again the next day. It's definitely one of those economical ways to do Disney.
Yes.
And we know exactly how to do that, and we have done that. numerous
We
times.
did it this trip.
So, yep. So the next day we got up.
Yeah, so Tuesday morning, which was December 5th, for those of you that aren't familiar, December 5th is actually Walt Disney's birthday, and it is the day that Nick was due. He ended up coming a day early.
Yeah.
So a special place in my heart, the 4th and 5th of December.
Yeah.
And so we had decided a couple of days before, it was like, you know what? There's a lot of things that's happening. There's availability. It's going to be tight, but we're going to go ahead and buy a one-day park ticket, and we're going to go into Epcot because Nick has been obsessively watching Soarin' videos on YouTube. He has also been watching
our YouTube video from last year,
where we went, and then just in general, a lot of park videos in general, but. I was like, okay, he's never ridden, like neither one of you had ever ridden Remy's Ratatouille Adventure because we didn't get to do that the last time.
Right.
Would love to ride Cosmic Rewind again. Instead of Soarin' Around the World, they were doing Soarin' over California, which we'd never done before together. May not have ever done it before, period.
Haven't. It was the boys that did it when we were out in California. JT and Noah.
It may have been Soarin' over Around the World then too. I have no idea.
I don't know.
But anyway, so there was that. We've never been to a candlelight processional, believe it or not. And John Stamos was going to be the guest speaker. So I was like, oh, okay.
And to top all that off, there was 3 other things that happened all on the same day. They had the Walt statue was unveiled.
Yeah.
The brand new entrance coming up into Epcot with all the lit walkways and the trees and everything all lit up at night, and the brand new Epcot show named Luminous
Symphony of Us.
Yes, and I absolutely love the show. I think they've got a new winner on their hands.
I do too.
I just wish we could have gotten a little bit closer to be able to see. We do appreciate the other YouTubers out there that was recording that night. Because we came home and we watched the show and was able to fully see the show and understand everything that was going on. But I'm telling you what, from what I saw there and on TV, it was a beautiful, beautiful show. And it is definitely one of those that will get you thinking a little bit and, make the tears come out a little bit too. So
but back to, we kind of jumped ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
So when we got there, actually, before we even got there, I took Nick down to breakfast while he was finishing getting ready. And that is when the gingerbread man came out. And I didn't know how Nick was going to react because characters in the past have kind of been one of those things where he's looked at them and kind of, no. And I tried very hard not to push him into doing something he's not comfortable with.
Yeah.
Well, that did not happen. He actually ran up to the gingerbread man and almost tackled him to give him a hug, and then kept waving at him and was very interested and was watching him the entire time that he was going around and kept waving anytime that the gingerbread man would look at him. And I looked at Scott when he came down and I said, okay, first thing that we have to do is we need to go to the Imagination Pavilion. He goes, okay, why? And I'm speaking in code because Nick doesn't know where we're going. And so I was like, well, he really likes characters. And guess who is now a character that you can meet in Epcot? So
Figman.
So the very first thing that we did, as soon as we got on the property, we got parked, we went in and we went to the Imagination Pavilion and we got to see Figment. And we waited maybe 8 minutes, which was really cool. He was super excited about it. I have some great photos. He got to give him a hug. So much fun. And it just set the tone for a really, really cool day because Nick definitely is all about the magic right now.
Well, and the really shocking thing is coming from a woman who hit Mickey Mouse when she met him the first time.
I didn't know who or what he was. Okay.
His expression.
It's exactly why I'm like, okay, like I want him to be comfortable with it because my parents were just like, here's this giant thing that's going to want to hug you. And I had no idea who or what he was because I didn't watch. We didn't have cable.
So, But yeah, it turned out to be a really good day. It was a great meet and greet for us to be able to go meet Figment, and that's not the only characters that we got to meet that day.
No,
Thanks to us holding the Disney
Visa
Visa credit card, we actually got to go meet Mickey and the old Goofster together as a family.
Gosh.
And I'm telling you what,
so cute.
This man right here bawled because what Nick did. I mean, he literally ran in and just
blew up, just all excited, yelled Mickey, gave him a hug. The fact that he labeled him and actually verbally said Mickey was really cool, because he doesn't do that. And
the photographers there actually got a photo of Nick kissing Mickey on the nose.
Yeah, we do a thing where we Eskimo kiss with our noses, and he did that to Mickey.
Yeah, it was really cute. So, but yeah, a lot of good photos, a lot of good things to come on our videos and stuff. So those will be out on our YouTube channel soon. Sometime soon.
Overall, we had a really great time. We did not sit to see the Candlelight Processional, but we did get to see some of it. I know that Nick wasn't going to sit there for an entire showing of it, but I wanted to say beautiful. I've seen some of it.
It was beautiful.
Got to see them march in, which was really cool.
Yeah, and got to see Uncle Jesse on stage. That was so cool.
Yeah,
John Stamos. And I'm sorry, he's always going to be Uncle Jesse to me. So but yeah, it was a great day. We had a lot of fun. We actually did get to ride the Remy ride. Well, trust me, everybody's going to get a copy of that photo bomb. We got to ride Remy's Ratatouille. It was a good ride. Not really sure what all the hype is about it, but it's a good ride. Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Nick had a good time on it. Yeah. We did get to go back onto
Guardians of the
Galaxy. We did get to go do test track for the first time for Nick.
Nick's never done test track.
Yeah,
so that was cute.
Yeah, he actually had a lot of fun with that.
It was fun.
Yeah. Did we ever see the photo with that?
I did. And it's the one where my hair is all in my face and you can't, I look like.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So.
Yeah. So we got some good photos and stuff. Once we get everything sorted out, guys, we literally just got back at 9:00 last night, and
I haven't unpacked our suitcases yet. Something's wrong with me.
Well, we just need to redo our laundry and leave again. So
there you go.
But yeah, we were tired today, as you can tell. I got the bags underneath my eyes. I'm worn out still, but a lot of driving, a lot of fun. But anyway, back to Epcot. We did get to go eat late lunch, early dinner at the Mexican Pavilion, which was phenomenal.
Yeah, so we ended up
and I finally got my tacos. Thanks, Noah.
We did get to eat at the San Angel Inn and Restaurante, which is inside of the Mexico Pavilion pyramid. Very good food. Really liked it.
Really good food.
It was dark though, so we did not do photos or anything like that of everything.
No, I think there was 2 photos that we only did, and you couldn't see her food or anything because it was just so dark in there. But it was everything was it was fake. No, it wasn't. It was a real
the lantern.
Lantern. It's real oiled lanterns. There you go. That's the word I was trying to find. But so at first I'm looking at it and I'm like, is that real? And I put my hand up. Yep, that's hot. Yep, that's real. So I made sure that Nick kept his hands away from it as much as possible. But yeah, it was so nice to be able to sit there and just have a nice meal and relax and just have some fun. And man, they had some great sweet tea there too.
Yeah,
I can go for another couple cups of that tomorrow, not tonight. But
so yeah, it was a lot of fun. And like he said, we did get to see the new fireworks show. Did get to see Walt's statue from a distance. Again, I wasn't making Nick sit and wait with us in order to get photos with it.
Yeah.
But
it's a beautiful statue, and I think it's a real good way to commemorate.
It's a nice tribute.
Yeah, it's a great way to it's a good tribute toward him. I really enjoy it, and I'm glad that they did that, and especially where they did it too. So that's a beautiful place to put it. But kudos to those guys and the Imagineer team for doing that. So real good job, guys. So what else did we do that day? Anything else?
We did a few other things, yeah.
So Soarin' Over California, real quick. We want to kind of review that real fast. A little bit different from soaring, around the world, which we're a huge fan of no matter what. And we're a huge fan of soaring because I don't know what it is about that ride, but I absolutely love doing it every time. But being able to go over California, it's a little more magical for us, because it's a lot of stuff that's in that video while you're watching it on the ride that we really want to go do while we're out in California.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like
seeing Yosemite.
Yeah.
The orange groves and just smelling the orange groves. Yeah. That was great.
Napa Valley, being able to go over top of it, over top of San Francisco, flying over top of the Golden Gate Bridge.
All the surfers.
The surfers and stuff. I don't know about the surfing part. I don't know if we would do that. Might try it once to be able to say, yeah, I've tried to do that, but you never know. But yeah, it was so cool to be able to go do that. And we had so many firsts on that day. And just hanging out there on the 5th and being able to see so many different things.
Oh,
and doing
Journey of Water.
Oh yeah. We need to talk about that. That blew me away. You go ahead.
Oh wow, I get to talk.
Sorry.
So Journey of Water was really cool. I did get some video footage of that. So at some point I will be putting together a small video of our experience there for you guys on our YouTube channel. But it was really cool. At first Nick was a little hesitant because he's like, I have shoes on and you're wanting me to put my hands in water. And I get yelled at every time I try to do something with water. And then once he realized that he wasn't going to be in trouble and that he could play with it and do different things, this kid just lit up. He had so much fun with everything. And it was a really interesting way of talking about basically the cycle of water, from rain to being up in the clouds to seeping into the ground and the rivers and streams and things like that. So it was really nice from an educational standpoint to be able to go through all of that and have it explained in a very kid-friendly way, especially with conservation in mind as well. It was really a fun thing to be able to do.
Right. And tell you what, and the beautiful, and it was so beautiful. I mean, there was plants and trees and there was flowers all the way around, and the way the water interacted with you. You could interact with the water. You move your hand, put your hand up and down, the water would go up, it would come down. Or you put your hand like this and the water level will come up to where your hand is. If you move it up, it would come up higher. Put it back down, it would go back down.
Yeah, it's very playful.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And then being able to walk through the rainfall.
Yeah.
That was so neat because it says wet path, dry path. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take Nick through the wet path and see what happens.
Oh, and he hadn't seen anything about it. So.
Yeah, he hadn't seen anything about it. So I'm like, okay. So I took him through and we walk up and there's like this waterfall's coming down. And it's just kind of like a straight line of a shower, basically. And it's just one straight line. And it's just water coming straight down. And you walk up and you put your hand out. And all of a sudden, the water stops up above where your hand goes in. So where you don't get any water on you at all.
Yeah.
So, but you got to do it slowly because if you go through it fast,
you're still going to get a little wet.
You're going to get a little bit wet. But it was neat to be able to just walk up and he walked through and was just like, oh my, like I want to clear through this and they're never going to drop on me.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Neat to see his expression on that. So, and we do have video of this. So you guys will get to see that on our YouTube channel soon.
And then the other part where the one cast member was having everybody get onto the platform. And so Nick and we jumped into the last two spots and I'm getting stuff dripping down onto me. I was like, but had a hat on. Facebook page keeps lagging, going to go to YouTube. Yeah, I'm noticing that we're having some lag issues. I apologize for people that's over on Facebook. So she's like, okay, now everybody raise your arms and stuff and raise them again and stuff. So all of us were doing it. And like the more that we did it, like the higher and the bigger and grander that the water coming up was.
Yeah.
So very cool.
It was really neat to be able to experience this. And I was really glad that they built it. I'm glad they did it. And I'm glad that we actually got to go experience this and go do it for our first time. So it was really cool. Definitely would recommend it if you guys book a vacation through us. We're going to definitely talk to you about that, about at least getting into seeing that. And maybe even spend a day over at the Tampa Zoo too. So
most
definitely worth it.
No.
But There's more to come.
There is more to come. So on Wednesday, obviously, we ended up sleeping in a little bit. We did have to check out of our hotel because we had another hotel we were going to. But we wanted to spend some time at Walt Disney World property because I have been wanting to see the gingerbread houses and creations that they have. And so we ended up stopping over and having lunch at Captain Cook's in the Polynesian, which was not planned, but the bus that we were on was taking us to the Poly and Grand Floridian. And Scott's like, ooh, I want Captain Cook's, and I'm never going to say no to going to the Poly.
Yep.
So we went there for lunch and then took the monorail over to the Grand Floridian. We got to see the giant gingerbread house that they actually work from and sell their goods from. So that was really cool. And what was beautiful, we walk in off of the monorail, and there is a lovely bride getting her photos taken because she was getting married that day. And so we were extra cautious about making sure that Nick didn't go like running up to her or one of her bridesmaids and stepping on a dress or trying to give them a hug or anything like that. So,
which would have been cute, but the problem is our luck, he would have picked up like a handful of dirt on the way and went, you know. So I just
but anyway, so we got to do that. And then we went from the Grand Floridian over to the Contemporary. Got to see the display at the Contemporary, which wasn't as big as what I had expected it to be.
Yeah,
but that's
still
okay.
Neat. It's still neat.
Yeah. And then from there, we went all the way downstairs so that we could go to the buses from Contemporary, and took the bus over to Hollywood Studios to take the Friendship Taxi over towards the Beach and Yacht Club, because the Yacht Club, for the very first time, is doing a lighthouse, which was really cool, but the kind of had its thunder stolen a little bit because it had a beautiful train set that was right next to it that Nick was in love with.
I couldn't even tell you what that lighthouse looked like because we came in the door, you went to the lighthouse, and Nick and I went straight to the trains. And we were over there watching those. And to be honest with you, I ended up talking to other people, and before I realized that we were walking out the door, and I'm like, oh, there was a lighthouse there. I was like, oops. But it was so cool to be able to see a train display there and to be able to take a couple minutes and look at it. So it was nice.
Yeah. So that was absolutely beautiful. And then we went over to the beach club, and I actually ended up going in by myself because Nick decided he wanted to play in sand. And who are we to argue with him on his birthday week? So I went in and I got to see the carousel that the beach club had, and it was themed to DuckTales. So it was really cool being able to see all the different DuckTale characters come to life on that, and got some really good footage of that. I'm looking forward to bringing to all of you. And then after that, I walked over to the boardwalk by myself so I could see that one. And it was really cool being able to see it. It was right next to the roller coaster that they have, which unfortunately, because of how they have it set up, you actually can't get the roller coaster to work and stuff right now because the gingerbread house is right in front of it. But it was pretty cool to see. That one was really cute because it was kind of a mimic of the boardwalk, and had like a confectionery shop with clear pane, sugar pane glass that you could look in, and you could see Mickey and Minnie working on their confectionaries.
That's cool.
So it was a really cute house. Not my favorite. My favorite was probably the DuckTales carousel because that was really cool.
Well, I think my favorite one was at the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yes, and
because if you did not know,
didn't do this one.
Yeah. If you did not know that these were gingerbread, you would not know they were gingerbread. This was a replica of a zebra and a giraffe.
Yep.
And let me tell you, if you're looking at it, you would not know. You would not know that they are actually made out of gingerbread.
It was very cool. So Ginger the giraffe and Deborah the zebra.
Yep.
See, Deb, you didn't even know you had a zebra at Animal Kingdom Lodge named after you. But yeah, they were very cool to see. And then we got to go out and we got to see some animals. It was a little after dusk by the time we got there because takes a while on buses.
Yeah.
But we got to go over and got to see a few animals, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were done for the night and went to our next hotel.
Yep.
And crashed.
Yep. You didn't even make it to the hotel. You crashed on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Meg was a little under the weather, starting to come under the weather. And the next day it hit her and Nick both at NASA.
Yes.
Of course.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we ended up having a really good time
Mm-hmm.
while we were at the Kennedy Space Center. We got to do the bus tour over to the Saturn V,
Yep.
Which was really cool to be able to see all of that.
Do the launch experience. That
the
was
launch
neat.
experience was very cool. Highly recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
Nick was just enamored with the whole thing,
Yeah.
which was really cool to see. I wasn't sure how he was going to handle it because, I mean, depending on your age level, like, I mean, he's 7 now. So I was like, he's either going to find it really boring or he's going to be really interested in it. So wasn't sure how that was going to go. So we got to do that. And then we went back over to the main complex and we got to do the Space Shuttle Atlantis experience, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful that we got to do that.
And we got a ton of footage on this. So there's going to be a video coming up soon about this too, kind of showing the Kennedy Space Center and stuff like that and our experiences that we had there that day.
Yeah.
But being able to go through and see Atlantis and that a whole part of that was just
it was
awe-inspiring. I
Yeah.
mean, it was so neat to be able to go through and see all of this and the way they go through and they basically tell the story of how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we needed a space shuttle program, and it's so educational. So, like, if you got young ones that are coming into that time where they need to start learning about history in space, this is a great location for them to go to.
Yeah.
So, especially if they really have their head up in the space.
Yeah. So, there's two things with this place. The price tag is a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like we paid, it was $85, I think, after tax for your and my tickets each, and then Nick's was like 70 something.
Right.
So yes, that is a scary amount to put down for a 1-day ticket experience to a space center, especially if you're used to like us, like going to Wallops, which is free and it's a little building, and you walk in and you see a couple of displays and that's it.
Yeah.
That's not it at Kennedy, obviously. I would honestly recommend taking 2 full days, taking advantage of that price break where it's only $10 more a ticket to do the 2-day package.
Yeah.
And spending the 2 days experiencing everything, because we didn't get to do the Hall of Astronauts.
Training to be an astronaut, actually, too.
Didn't get to do that. They have a new Play and Connect Center, which is geared towards kids ages 2 to 12 to be able to play and stuff just like an astronaut would.
Yep.
Didn't get to do that.
And the Mars rover.
Didn't get to do anything with the Mars rover.
Yep.
And we only briefly got to go in and experience the walk through and experience the rocket garden, which I really wish we could have taken a little bit more time and gotten some photos of Nick sitting in the different rockets and things like that, which we did not get to do this time.
Yeah. Well, and to be all honest, we didn't get there until I think it was 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock?
It was about noon. And they closed at 5. We were there probably until about 4:30.
Yeah. Because as we were getting in the car, I heard him going, "There's Kennedy Space Center will be closing in 30 minutes." So it was like literally, we did 4.5 hours there. So, but man, the stuff that we got to see in that 4.5 hours was really impressive. So it's definitely worth the trip, especially if you get the opportunity to do some of the tours and stuff. It's really great. You can also do launch viewings on those days too.
You can.
You can pay for your ticket. They'll have a bus. They'll take you over toward where the Saturn V rocket is. As long as they haven't sold out already, and you'll be able to watch the launch right across the way from Pad 39A or 39B, one of the two, whichever one it goes off of. But just really, really cool experience to be able to be there, to be able to see it, to know the history of everything that's went on for our space program from literally right there.
Yeah.
We were standing in some of the places where, I mean, Neil Armstrong and all those guys have been through there and will walk through there. You got Buzz Aldrin, you've got all these guys that, like, from the whole space program, that just icons of the space program that were like literally right there. So it was just, yeah, I was geeking out, man. I'm telling you, it was really cool. I had a blast, and definitely would recommend it if you got little ones that are into space and wanting to be an astronaut and stuff. This is a place that you definitely want to take them. They can show you things, they can teach you things there, that you can even chat with real astronauts and stuff. You can have lunch with them too. They got programs for that too. So
yeah, very cool. And the one thing that I thought was really interesting to me was I was looking at the Saturn V rocket, and I'm looking up at it, and I'm like, Noah has shown me photos of things that he's working on in his PIA training. He's going to be airline mechanic, and a lot of the engines and stuff that he works on, they looked so similar. Me, I have no clue what any of this is, but he could probably look at it and go, oh, that's for this and that's for that, and that's what that does. I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's really incredible that something that he is working on is something that could potentially someday turn into a job for him, working for somebody sending stuff into space.
Yeah.
Not just
airplanes.
Our airlines and stuff like that.
Well, it's like I told you when we were down there. She even mentioned this to me down there. And I said, but you got to think about it. A lot of the space program was based off of fighter pilots that were test pilots.
Yeah.
So the only thing they had back in those days was parts and stuff from airplanes and stuff that they made up. So like that is airplane parts and stuff. So, or it looks so familiar because what they've done with them down there at the rockets and stuff, now we integrated into our airplanes and stuff to make our airplanes even safer too. So either vice versa. I'm not really sure how it went, but I'm going to probably go with
both ways.
Yeah. So it worked good for training them how to build the rockets, and it'll also work good for us with the rockets, training us how to build our airplanes better and safer to get us around the world.
Yeah. So overall, it was a fantastic experience, and I'm really glad that we did it.
Yeah, and it was a really good trip. We had some wonderful places to stay. Got to do a quick shout out. Definitely a good shout out to the folks that are in Clearwater.
Yes.
They took very, very good care of us. Very
Never
sweet
had
stuff.
a hotel do that before.
Yeah. I'll let you explain that.
Okay. So a couple of days before we arrived in Clearwater, that hotel was actually a brand new build. So it hasn't been open for very long. So I received an email from the general manager, and she wanted to know if we were celebrating anything, what we were in town for, if there was anything that they could do for us. And so I responded and I said, yes. I said, we're actually going to the Tampa Zoo because we're celebrating our son's 7th birthday, and he wants to go to the zoo. So they upgraded us free of charge to a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom suite, 1-bathroom suite. I apologize. And it was absolutely amazing. So beautiful. And they also gifted him with a birthday card that everybody in the hotel had signed. And they also gave him a little market treat that he got to pick. Of course, he picked some Reese cups. And so it was just so sweet and nice of them to have gone out of their way for that. I mean, we're a family of 3 when we travel generally anymore.
Yeah.
So I was not expecting to get like a big room because I mean, for us, I mean, a king bed with a sofa bed or a 2-queen room is generally fine because it's only the 3 of us now. But Nick really enjoyed having his own space to be able to kind of fling his toys around and do his own thing. And then Scott had a ton of fun being able to watch what he wanted to watch on TV. And then I ended up in the living room because that was where the desk was. And I ended up working on a video and getting it put out for all of you. So,
yeah, while Nick and I played, she worked.
Yeah. What else?
Sorry, honey. You're great.
So, but yeah, definitely, absolutely wonderful. And then when we went, we had 2 nights at the Residence Inn by Marriott, UCF East. And they also upgraded us to a 2-bedroom suite. Did not expect that. We had only ordered a king suite with a pull-out sofa.
Yeah.
And it was really nice, again, to be able to have that extra room to be able to kind of just spread out and do what we needed to do.
Yeah, definitely. And both of these, and actually both hotels, you did a phenomenal job. If you guys are watching, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
A lot of love and support, and we are definitely going to send some clients your way. So, but
not that the Spring Hill Suites did badly by any stretch of the imagination. It was a really nice hotel.
No.
And we're very grateful to all of you.
And breakfast at
it's
all
just
of them.
Crazy that we
Loved
had 2 upgrades. Then we've never had any upgrades before ever.
Yeah, all in one trip.
So,
yeah, we did.
It was wild.
It was great. But yeah, great trip all the way around. It was wonderful to be able to just take our time driving down and seeing the sights and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I like flying, but every once in a while being on the ground and being able to see some things, like we like the one vehicle hauling all the stuff in Florida. Just,
that was interesting.
Yeah, the Clampetts moved to Florida, I'm telling you. But anyway.
Not even kidding. It had a pool table that was about 4 feet above the cab of the pickup truck. And I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Don't get too close to that.
It wasn't even a pickup truck. It was a Jeep. It was one of those Jeeps, and it was up on the roof, standing up. I was just like, I looked at her, and I'm like, are you seeing this? It's just like... But anyway, neither here nor there. But great trip. We had a fun time. It was a wonderful experience being able to go down to Tampa Zoo, being able to see the manatees in through Crystal River. Thank you.
Three Sisters Spring.
Three Sisters Springs. Man, I'm tired tonight. But it was a great trip. We had a blast. And like we said, we'll be getting the videos out to you as soon as we can. We are very busy the next 3 or 4 weeks here, especially with it being the holiday season, with it being Christmas.
Yeah.
But we're going to do our best to get the videos out to you as soon as we can. I know we're still trying to finish up the Virgin Voyage videos. And they're getting there.
Yeah,
we're getting
I may have to kind of sprinkle some things in and around because I want to get some of the holiday stuff over to you guys sooner than.
Yeah, you guys got to see the gingerbread houses because I'm telling you, those
are cool.
They were very nicely done.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But anyway, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up early tonight.
Yes.
But we do want to appreciate all the love and support that we continuously get from all of you guys from YouTube and from our Facebook page and all of our socials. And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our socials so that you know exactly what we're doing, when we're doing it, and where we're going sometimes. So with all that being said, guys, I think we're going to get out of here. We will try to be here next Sunday. We're not going to guarantee you anything because I think that might be tree ceremony night for us here at our house. So
good possibility because it's not up yet.
No.
I wanted to wait until after Nick's birthday.
Yep. So
and it didn't happen this afternoon like I was hoping. So
yeah. But anyway, we'll let you guys know. Just stay tuned to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, and we'll let you guys know if we're going to do one or not. So
sounds good.
But anyway, guys, we're out of here. We'll see you guys next time. And thanks for joining us. And as always, are you guys ready for your next Plum Crazy adventure?
Because we're ready to get you there.
See you later. Bye-bye.